I noticed one thing about a lot of the big YouTubers. PewDiePie is like the Brofist Army, the Markipliers, whatever you want to call it. You know, Jacksepticeye. You know, it has all these all these people have like names of their communities, and I got to think about it. You know, at first I was like, why are they doing that? It's just like, why is there always some like fun name for it? And it's because, you know, what really separates this from just being numbers and just, you know, you're some guy, you're some girl, we just talk. The real thing that really makes it, you know, us and makes it, you know, a relationship between me and you is a community, a place that you can actually, like, you know, really interact with someone. And that's just such a priceless thing, and it's so great when it works that way. And there is a distinction when you actually call yourself something and I call myself something. It's like a badge of honor, you know, and it's something you earn, and it's not something that was just like handed to you. And I think that's what I kind of want to do with my channel. And the big thing, and I came up with it, you know, and it's not complicated, and it's not, matter of fact, it's super simple. But you guys are my family, so I'm going to be saying from now on, welcome to the family. And every single one of you are my brothers and my sisters. And that sounds like, you know, maybe a little too personal for some people, but, you know, it's not. You are my brother and you are my sister. You know, you may be the craziest person in the world and you may hate my guts, but it doesn't make you not my brother and my sister. And you may, like, love me and think you're my #1 fan, and that doesn't make you any less of a person who just found me 2 weeks ago. It's like, it's one of those things where I really want to know that I appreciate every single one of you for giving me 1 minute of your time, 1 hour of your time, whatever amount of time. I appreciate it so much. It's amazing how much I appreciate it. Another big thing is, as a family, I think we should know a couple things about each other. I think one of the major issues when it comes to a lot of these gaming channels is that people don't like the game, only like the gaming stuff, they don't like the personal stuff. Well, this is a very personal experience for me. This is everything for me, and this is kind of what I want to reiterate towards you guys, is that this isn't just something that I'm doing for money. This is something because I believe that this will eventually be something great. I had this dream a couple weeks ago where I was an older version of myself. I was really thin and ripped too, which is awesome. You know, I was bald, and I had a like gray beard, so I was much older. And I was doing this where I was helping thousands of people get work, you know, and we were doing this convention together, and we were earning this money, and we were helping people around the world, you know, beat hunger, you know, really legit. And I traveled to, and I hugged people that I never met before, and it was like this really vivid, amazing dream. And it's one of those things where I think that's a possibility. I think that's something that we can obtain if it's something that we really, really want. I think we could do it. I really think we could do it. I think we can define the odds of things. I think we can, if we believe that we can stretch our hands out across the world and give it a giant friggin' hug, we could do it. Just a little bit of time, you know. And my personal life has gotten so crazy. I mean, some of you don't know this, but I actually just moved in this year to a place in Texas. I lived from Michigan. I came to Texas, and by going to Texas, in the East Texas where I live, the town I live in is very small. I've always lived in a suburban kind of area in my life, even suburban, or, you know, I've lived in Los Angeles. I lived in in big cities. I lived in small cities. This is the first time I've lived in a quote-unquote, I guess, country city. And the thing is that where I personally live is not that bad, but like 5 miles in every direction is like cow country. So the thing is like, there's not a lot of jobs around here. But the thing is, we came here because my wife got a fantastic job. Me and my wife have been struggling financially. We both were film students, and we couldn't afford the rent in Los Angeles. It was like $3,500 a month, and the jobs they were offering us were like, you know, oh yeah, no problem. You just spend year and a half, you know, just like, you know, paying your dues and earning nothing. It's like, how am I supposed to work for you for 50 hours a week on nothing, and I got to pay $3,500 in rent? And before you say to yourself, like, you know, why don't you get a cheaper place? The cheapest place we ever found in Los Angeles was about $2,400 a month, and it would have cost me $2,000 to break my lease. It's like I was living, the money I was living at that time frame was that money, so we had to move. So, and the problem is that when you get in Los Angeles kind of areas, the thing is like there's so many people in the film industry that they just focus on one thing, and they get really, really, really good at that one thing. Now, they don't really, they learn what graphic arts is, the graphic design, and they learn sound, but they don't really, like, you know, they're not all about that. They're not like, you know, they're more, they have the, for me, it was all about editing. So when I came back, the places in Michigan didn't have nearly the competition or the budget, so guess what they wanted? They wanted everything. They wanted me to be, you know, a motion graphic designer, a digital arts designer, a sound engineer. They wanted the whole package, and it's like I was, and again, because the money in California, the money in Michigan is so bad. The money is so bad that literally everyone was just drowning. So I had to get, I had to find a different position. So I mean, I was working for Chrysler, driving cars. It was nothing to do, and I was swarming in debt, just trying to find something to do. And sure enough, my wife was, you know, we just had our first kid. We were living on welfare. We didn't have any money, and we had no money for a long time. We were working odds and end jobs. I was mostly unemployed. I was trying to get things going, you know, I had an online business that went completely belly up. I mean, it was just something that I poured my whole heart. I even had a nervous breakdown, to be honest. And truthfully, it's like, you know, it was the scariest thing that ever happened to me. And I had to leave my apartment that we were in Michigan and move back in with my mom, and my wife had to move in with us, because my wife, and so it's like, you know, and then, you know, so there was a lot of pressure on me and a lot of pressure on my wife, and it just was a toxic situation. I'm sure some of you people have been in that situation. It's just nothing good comes from it. We were desperate at that point in time. We were just we were in a big funk. We had to figure out a way to get out of it. So, anyways, the big thing that we did, it was that we came, she got this phone call, and we were going to Texas. And it's like, Texas, man, it's awesome. I mean, it's like, I heard nothing but good things about it. I heard there were bugs the size of fists and snakes that would eat you alive. But I mean, realistically, you know, that was a bunch of crap, because when we got down here, there was none of this stuff at all. But, oh, man, it's just like, so we got here and we loved it, guys. We loved it so much. But the thing is that Bethany was making really good money, and I was making no money. So what did I do? I actually started I started playing video games, and I started watching some of these people playing games for a living, and I heard of this, you know, streaming. You know, it's like, I could try that. And so what did I basically put the rest of my money into my machine that I had. It wasn't much, but I put the rest of it in. I borrowed some too, and I got this really great setup. And I'm like, okay, I got my microphone, I got my computer, can handle all the games on Ultra, I got 2 monitors, I got, you know, an internet that I'm paying for, I got everything I need. Well, I was doing it, and I think I was doing pretty well. I got about 1,600 followers on Twitch in probably a couple months. I think it was like 4 months. I met a lot of fantastic people, hopefully, and now some of them are still sub, but most of the people who were sub before are really, you know, they're really Twitch and HITBOX watchers. So it's like, I understand that they don't like come on and watch the YouTube videos that much. That's okay. And it's like, you know, but I still love them. They're still my brothers and some of my sisters. They're still awesome, and I hope they come back, and I hope they comment and keep coming back. But the thing is that you can't get mad at someone for time. You can't get mad at people. Sometimes, you know, like, people come and go. Like, I've been a subscriber for the Shaytards now for multiple years, and the truth is like, you know, I subbed them for 2 years, and I watched their videos for like 1 year, like every single day for a while. And then I stopped watching. I subbed them and came back later on. And that's how I want to be for you guys. It's like, you know, some people will come, some people will go, some people will like it, some people have 150, versions of the same game, and they've already watched their major YouTubers they like the most, and why would they watch it again with me? So I understand that. So like I said, so that leads in to my situation. So we got down here, and before we left, we actually had a second daughter. That's right, my awesome little girl, Megan, was a little angelfish, which is awesome. She actually came down, and she was born right around the time frame that we left Michigan. And we came here, and it was just so great, guys. I mean, like, every day was happy. Like, we had, fights and arguments, but I mean, like, not even 100%, not even 1% of, not even like 0.5% of what it used to be. It was so great. It was so great, guys. I'm so happy, and I was so happy. And I got a job, and I was doing Twitch for a while. And the thing is that my girls are like 2 years old and 4 years old, okay? And the problem is that when I stream, the only way to really stream effectively is to watch both screens all the time. You got your game screen and you got your comment screen. You comment on what they got, and you play and you concentrate on your game. You don't have time to concentrate on what's behind you, which is a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old who are constantly running around being crazy. I can't do that, and I tried so hard, guys. I wanted to. I even got partnered with HITBOX. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna try it again. It's like I really miss it, and it's awesome. But the truth is like, you just can't do it. It's a time sink. It's a major time sink, and I have to be there for my girls. I have to be able to, give them food if they're hungry, prepare for it, make sure they have crayons, make sure that they can color, make sure that they want to play a game they can. I have to be there for them. Because, this is a really sensitive time for kids who are growing up. From 1 to 5, that's like their personality is forming. It's like, I don't want them to have memories of me being like, the guy who watches, who's got their back to him, who feeds them food. It's like, no, I want to be a dad. And that's the thing. It's like, you have to be a dad. So I thought to myself, I needed to get a job. So I got a job as a pizza delivery guy, and I worked nights while my wife worked days. And it was just torturous. It's like, the job wasn't a bad job. Matter of fact, it was extremely laid back and stupidly easy. It was just the fact that I was away from my wife all the time. I saw my wife like 3 hours a week, if that. And it was torture. My wife is my air, man. It's like, if I don't have my wife for at least a couple hours a day, it's like I can't breathe. And it's like when she's gone for on business trips, sometimes she has to go on trips for a couple of days. It's like, it's torturous. I always miss my wife so much. My heart just aches thinking about her. So it's like, I love my family, and my family always comes first. And that is why I want to call this my family, because you guys need to come right in the same line as my family, because you are my family. You are my family. And this is the thing. I believe that we can move mountains. I believe that we can actually do things that are way beyond the thought process of actually just doing this. This is nothing. This is, playing video games, entertaining you for a little bit, but what if we can make real change in things? What if we get what if our family gets so big that we can actually really do some fantastic things? And, man, I'm just excited. So, the big things are, another big announcement that I want to make is that since now I have went full in on this, our situation has dramatically changed. Like I said, my wife is actually pregnant with our 3rd child now, our 3rd kid. But here's the rub. Unfortunately, our apartment that we are currently in, which we love, our apartment we're in has a maximum capacity of 4. That's me, my wife, and my 2 children. So if I have a 2-bedroom place, I now have to get a 3-bedroom place. So 3-bedroom place. So, and the 3 bedrooms here are very reasonable, but the problem is that they are very hard to get. And it just so happens that one opened up perfectly right around the time frame that we got in. We found the news, and I called, and there was and it just opened up. It hasn't even been out to the market yet. But I know the woman down there really, really nice. Actually, she's a really good friend of mine. So she's like, yeah, they're in here. So we went into our savings, and we gave her what we had to basically put down for the apartment so we can guarantee get it. But we have the apartment now. But here's the thing. All the money that we were using for savings and, you know, buying, you know, clothing for the kids and all the little whatever the word, more the extra things, you know, and having the fun, yeah, that was all actually being, that money is now being sunk into our new place. So the thing is that we pretty much have tackled on an additional $200 to $400 more a month in rent. And then I mean that with bills, electricity, and everything like that. So I need to make that up. Now, here's my thing. I am now a full-time YouTuber. Full-time. That's right, baby. Full-time. Let's take it in. Full-time. This is my job now. This is my job. And I owe it to you to give it my all every single day. I will be at this chair for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. Now, that's the best I can do because my wife is gone for that amount of time, and that's how much that's how much that I give you guys. But that's 8 hours a day that I can figure out a way how to interact with you, how to make sure these videos get up, and not only will I be doing one series, but 2 series, possibly even random videos in between, or if a game gets cut off early, you know, all these kind of things. There'll be things that will mess things up. Maybe we'll even throw a 3rd game in there once in time if 2 games aren't working really well. If 1 game ends early, later, blah, 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 all the possible things. But I'm going to do my best to actually make it where we do 2 games a week. Now, why 2 games a week? Why not just do 1? Well, because, unfortunately, let's just say that you, the viewer, you love me, right? You watch me every single day. But then all of a sudden, I put up a game that you don't particularly like. That's okay. I mean, that's a fine. Like, for instance, I mean, I might be doing Witcher 3 soon. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do the whole game because that is just a monster load of, you know, editing with all the craziness that goes, and it could be extremely long. It could be like 300 freaking hours, and if that's long, that's like, you know, episode 924 of, like, no, it's like there's gonna be like 1 view, and that's me testing it. It's like no one's gonna stick around that long for that game. But at the same exact time frame, I want to basically have it where there's 1 game for one kind of person, 1 game for another. It's like hopefully there'll be more polar games where pretty much, you know, there's always sometimes the more, maybe even more mature, and one that's, you know, bubbly and happy, and then you know, vice versa. They'll always try to make different games. Like, so next week we are doing Life is Strange, and we are doing Among the Sleep. So those are the 2 games we're doing. So it's going to be another episodic game, just like we have been with the Telltale series. And then we're doing, I wanted to do Wolfenstein and a bunch of other games that come out. But here is another issue that I'm going to be having, guys. The big issue is that now the extra money coming in, I don't have that little bit of money to go and put down that my wife was making to go buy games. And I was never buying expensive games. I was most of the time I was receiving them for free, or I paid like $10 or under. But even that money is dried up. It's just, I can't afford it. And again, you know, like, I don't want to say, hey, you know, hey CB, can I you know, like, I'm not asking you for money, because we all need our money. Money is tight right now. I don't want you really giving up your money. It's like, that's awesome that if you want to, but it's like that's not what I want. What I do ask for is your time. And it's like, that's the real thing. It's like just a little bit of your time and your attention. That is really, that can change my life. Change my life. You have the power to make something amazing happen. You have the power. By sharing it and telling someone to watch me, you know, and they tell it, and then they tell it, and all of a sudden, if enough people catch on in that regard, enough people catch on and see it, my life will change for the better because of you. And that is something that I can't think of anything. I can't think of anything more profound than that. I can't think of anything that I can ask more from somebody. You know, I'm eventually probably going to have something where I'm going to have a Patreon account or something that if people want to actually donate to the channel, and we'll give away lots of cool stuff. And I got, you know, tons of ideas that I want to do for giveaways, just to give away games all the time. But my wife is now in her first trimester. There'll be a period of time in the last trimester though she might not be able to go to work. And I am really scared at that time frame, if I'm not making enough money on this, then I can't, then my kids are gonna go hungry. You know, and I know you're probably saying, CB, well, then why don't you go out and get yourself a job, lazy bones? Well, that's the problem. There's not really any jobs. It's really, really, really hard. Most of the people here, this is like a 3 generations deep kind of area. I'm not qualified for any of the kind of work that they do around here. And the worst part of it is that since my wife works full time, then at that point in time, I have to pay for not 1, but 2 babysitters. And the 2 babysitters at that point in time would be somewhere along the lines of, I think, like the cheapest one I found was about $14 an hour to watch 2 kids. So that means that if I found a job that made $15 an hour, I would be making $1 an hour, which again is not enough money to cover the difference. So before you start slamming me and calling me a bad dad and calling me, you know, like someone, this is it. This is what I have. I have a computer that if it fails, I don't know what to do. I have a family who is counting on me to make money for them, and it needs to work. It's like I pray every day that this works. Every day I pray it works. But I know it will. I know it will. I believe it here. I believe it here. I believe it here that it will work. I believe it. The thing is that you have to believe it too. You have to believe it just as much as I believe it. And that's the real... that's the hardest part. But just know that I won't hurt you. I won't leave you. And I'll be putting out games constantly. And if I am not doing my job, you can tell me I'm not doing my job and tell me to do it better. Tell me to do more of it, less of it, and I'll listen. This is a chance to get real feedback from people. If I got to the point of even making minimum wage, guys, minimum wage, McDonald's wages, if I got to that point with YouTube, I would be set. I'm done. I mean, at that point in time, it's just fun extra money. Just minimum wage. That's how much I just need the littlest help. And it'll be the only time I ever ask for it. I don't know the magical combination of words to make someone believe in what I'm doing, what I'm not doing, but I can say from the bottom of my heart that I do need your help. I just need you to believe in me. If you believe in me, you can change my life. Isn't that worth doing? Isn't that worth it? Guys, my name is CB. Welcome to my family. I'll see you guys next time.